The ETH ETF, what is interesting to me, we all knew it was going to happen, but now it's happened. I'm really interested to see what narrative BlackRock put around it. Look, all of us who've been in the financial system know that every single bank and asset management firm is working on this. I mean, Goldman's had a team since 2015. So what they wanted was the regulatory clarity, which is what Fink has forced through.
Yeah.
So the explosion of innovation that's about to happen from the finance system itself, I think, is the shock. It's not going to come from NFTs and all of the stuff that we all do. It's going to come straight from the heart of the financial system. And before you know it, they're tokenizing everything, as Larry said, and they've all been desperate for this. You know, Wall Street will have lobbied for this because it saves so much money.
Just recently, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission has surprisingly approved applications to list exchange-traded funds tied to Ethereum, potentially paving the way for these products to begin trading later this year. This is a major win for the cryptocurrency industry, which had expected the SEC to reject the filings. While issuers still need further approval before the products launch, this decision marks a significant step towards making Ether ETFs available to investors. However, whether ethics now stands as a commodity remains unclear. While some argue that the approval implies ETH is a commodity, others maintain that the SEC could still classify it as a security in the future. Coinbase's chief legal officer Paul Grewal believes the approval confirms ETH is not a security, as the SEC designated the S1 form, which allows for a certain percentage of securities in the fund. However, others argue that the SEC's approval doesn't necessarily determine ETH's classification. The agency could still argue that specific circumstances surrounding ETH transactions constitute a securities offering. The classification of staked ETH is likely a separate issue. Recent SEC actions suggest staked ETH could be classified as an investment contract, making it a security. Regardless, many crypto investors see this recent event as a win, with Raoul Pal sharing an updated outlook on the crypto market's future following the news. According to Pal, everyone in the financial system, including banks and asset management firms, has been preparing to integrate cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. Pal predicts that the financial system will drive a massive wave of innovation through the tokenization of assets. This shift will likely save money and streamline operations, which is why Wall Street has pushed for these changes. We will now bring you clips of Raoul Pal as he shares his latest crypto outlook. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel to show your support. Thanks and enjoy.
We are all fully invested in this space. So the only capital is rotating from Bitcoin or Sol into ETH. We've seen a bit of that. I think that will continue. You know, by pure luck, I've been following the ETH Bitcoin cross for a while, and I posted, we got these new kind of trade idea templates on the Real Vision platform. They're just in beta test right now. And I tested one out on Saturday and put my whole thesis about the ETH Bitcoin cross, and it's exploded higher. So, I mean, that was pure luck. But I think that there's no new capital coming into the space right now. Now, if we think of it in terms of broader macro picture, the business cycle is only just picking up. Earnings are just picking up for companies. So we're not flush with cash in the real economy. Yes, some stocks have gone up and crypto's gone up, but not all crypto either, as we know. You know, there's been quite a decent amount of divergence as there is over the crypto spring. It is going to have to come from the ETF. And then it'll be all-time highs is going to be the driver. In fact, all you need actually is Bitcoin to hit all-time highs, then Sol will go, ETH will go. I think that brings NFTs alive. It brings alt season. It recycles capital. It brings those 80 million dead Coinbase accounts back into activity. You know, that whole great cycle that happens in crypto summer and crypto autumn is yet to play out. I mean, don't forget, we're still basically in the middle of the pandemic when we go back to the last cycle. We're not quite, we hadn't really started anything yet. Bitcoin was just breaking 10,000 after having consolidated. So I think the most overused phrase in crypto is we're so early, but we're early in the cycle. So yeah, we just need fresh capital. Liquidity, there was a liquidity withdrawal I think we talked about it last week because of the tax stuff. We'll see liquidity starting to come back in. Yellen should normally inject about 250 billion of liquidity. Now she's had the tax receipts in. Before you know it, now there's less QT, liquidity comes in, it all starts happening. So patience, I think, is the answer. I think it'll all play out, and I think ETH will outperform Bitcoin. Solana outperforms ETH. The risk curve works in the normal way, and there'll be whatever the bonkers side looks like. It'll be the memes. This side will be the stupid, crazy end of the market this time around. The NFTs were last time around, and it'll just function normally as a risk curve. I think we're very close to that moment. Super close.
Before we continue with more insights from Pal, here's another piece of the latest news surrounding Ethereum ETFs. According to JP Morgan, trading the recently approved spot Ethereum exchange-traded funds could commence well before November. Analysts led by Kenneth Worthington believe the approval of these ETFs is becoming a political issue as the 2024 US presidential election approaches. The SEC approved 19 B4 forms for 8 spot Ethereum ETFs, including those from Grayscale, Bitwise, BlackRock, VanEck, ARK21 Shares, Invesco, Fidelity, and Franklin, but their S1 registrations are still pending. After months of stalled discussions, the sudden approval followed renewed engagement between the SEC and stakeholders. Notably, references to staking were removed from the 19 B4 forms, addressing the SEC's concerns about whether staking ETH on behalf of ETF shareholders constitutes an investment contract under the Howey test. This approval coincided with the U.S. House of Representatives passing the Financial Innovation and Technology for the 21st Century Act, which aims to classify digital assets as digital commodities, granting jurisdiction to the U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission instead of the SEC. However, the bill still faces uncertain development in the Senate and lacks support from the Biden administration. That said, do you believe the bill will pass? Let us know in the comments. Now, here are more insights from Raoul Pal.
I keep explaining a story to everybody that I think is super valuable for people to understand. There's a friend of mine was running fixed income, currencies, commodities, and treasury at National Australia Bank. And he's just retired. And I'm like, well, what have you been up to last few years? He goes, I've been building stable coins. I'm like, why? He goes, yeah, in euros, in Aussie dollar stable coins, euro Aussie, euro US, euro whatever, Canadian, UK. I'm like, why? He's like, nobody realizes. I think it's next week. Fucking US goes T+1 equity settlement.
Wow.
FX markets are T+2.
Yeah.
Australia is T+3 because of the time zone. He's like, we're going to have to give tens of billions of dollars to our brokers to settle trades. And that takes from our regulatory capital, and they'll offer us 0 interest rates on it. So we're forced to use stable coins. I'm like, oh, of course. That's a massive use case. I think Canada goes to T+1, and I think, I don't know, the UK and Europe are as well. So that's a big deal. Just simply from that. Somebody said, good luck, Elizabeth Warren, in building an anti-crypto army. You're going up against millions of people who are motivated by their own future, the financial future, and they understand the power of memes. Like, that is very difficult to go up against.
Yeah.
And Trump saw that. And I think the Democrats are learning very fast that, there's 110 million Coinbase accounts, of which, I don't know what's active now, call it 10, 15 million are active, but in the height of the bull market by next year, it'll be 40 million plus. You are not going to piss off those people and tell them they can't have a financial future and win an election. Zero chance. I'll just give a background on what crypto's like in Cayman. For us in Cayman, we have, because of all of the funds are here and all of the foundations, we have great infrastructure, regulatory clarity, everything else. The only issue is the banks. The banks don't like it. I've never even brought crypto money back in. But the issue is, because Cayman is always under such a massive spotlight for anti-money laundering and KYC, AML, taxation stuff, which is fine. The banks don't know how to KYC on-chain transactions. So they can't say, or AML, really. It's like they're trying to figure out, where did your money come from? Why did you send out $100 and it's come back as $1 billion? What have you been doing that's wrong? Well, I've been trading monkeys online. They don't get that. And if you say, well, here's my proof of transaction history, they're like, we don't understand any of this. So that's the only issue for us here. Other than that, it's very pro.
In other news, MicroStrategy founder Michael Saylor has recently changed his stance on spot Ether exchange-traded funds, now seeing their approval by US regulators as beneficial for Bitcoin. On the May 25th episode of the What Bitcoin Did podcast, Saylor told host Peter McCormack that the approval of Ether ETFs is positive for Bitcoin, as it strengthens the political power of the entire crypto industry. He believes that Ether ETFs serve as another line of defense for Bitcoin and will accelerate the institutional adoption of cryptocurrencies. Saylor explained that recognizing crypto as a legitimate asset class will lead mainstream investors to allocate a portion of their portfolios to crypto assets, with Bitcoin receiving the largest share. He estimated that Bitcoin would constitute 60% to 70% of any crypto allocation by these investors. Previously skeptical about the possibility of SEC approval for spot Ether ETFs, Saylor believed Bitcoin would be the only crypto asset accepted by Wall Street. However, the recent approval has led him to adjust his views. Despite his earlier predictions that the SEC would only classify ETH and other tokens like BNB, Solana, XRP, and Cardano as securities, Saylor now sees the approval of Ether ETFs as a sign that Bitcoin will continue to lead the crypto market. Saylor's shift in perspective has caught the crypto community's attention, with some speculating whether he might even consider investing in ETH in the future. With all this being said, how do you think the approval of the Ethereum ETFs will play out? Share your thoughts in the comments section. If you found today's video informative and would like more insights and updates on cryptocurrency and global finance, please consider liking the video, subscribing to our channel, and enabling post notifications. Stay tuned for our next episode, where we'll uncover more about the fascinating developments in the crypto space. Until then, keep questioning, keep exploring, and most importantly, keep investing wisely. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.